All right, in this video, we're just gonna talk about like what Hermes is. So if you haven't heard of Hermes or if you're new to Hermes, it is an AI agent. Otherwise, some people call it an agent harness or an AI harness that basically harnesses models, right? Basically, what it can do is it learns from your projects, auto-generates skills, and never forgets how it solved a problem. Now that's a little bit debatable, but as time goes on, it's pretty good at remembering a lot of things. That said, you can add additional ways it can never forget as well. So you can kind of like add on top and improve Hermes, even on top of that, and build like a second brain. And we'll get into that in another video. Says natural language scheduling for reports, backups, briefings, running unattended through the gateway, focused every time. With that said, the gateways are Telegram, Discord, Slack, WhatsApp, Signal, email, Klee, and a growing list of platforms. One agent, one memory, every surface. So basically, it's really portable. So a very portable agent that learns over time, and it has all these different tools and resources available to you. Persistent memory, lives everywhere, focus automation, yada yada yada. So we've heard it all before. We've seen it on YouTube. The easiest ways to set up Hermes is a couple different ways. So if you want Hermes more 24/7 autonomous and like always on, highly recommend just going to Facebook Marketplace and essentially just getting a dedicated PC. This literally can run on pretty much a potato, but I don't recommend it. You run on like a super cheap PC somewhere just like in between mini PCs. You could just type in mini computer in Facebook Marketplace or eBay, whatever your marketplace of choice is. And you don't even need a Mac Mini. So if we compare the Mac Mini even with the M4 chip, it's got 24 gigabytes unified memory, 512 gigabytes of SSD. And the unified memory is nice to have, but you're not going to be able to run very large models anyways with that amount. I mean, you can run some smaller models for sure, but you're just not going to be able to run like the big one. So it's kind of like, you're getting a lot of performance out of it for sure. You can do a lot of things with it. You have the obviously the Apple and the Mac iOS, so that's pretty awesome. Or you could just save a lot of money. Like this one's $12.50 with the GMK Tech, and there's a couple other brands that are pretty decent when it comes to mini PCs, like Blackview and things of that nature. But this one is only $249 and it has similar specs. So you got 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM, 512 gigabytes of PCIe M.2 SSD, and it can support 4K dual HDMI, yada, yada, yada. So that's a pretty good mini PC. I mean, that's really strong enough to run a lot of agents off of it. So with that said, like, I don't think you need to spend $1,250 unless you just want, the Mac iOS, and it's a little bit easier to set up. Like the security is a little bit better than like having to do like setting setting Ubuntu up with Linux on this like GMK, which is what I have. Although, like, if you're gonna get into AI, like, you're gonna have to learn like how to use the terminal anyways. So going the Linux way is kind of not so bad. Like, you can just literally ask ChatGPT how to set up your Linux computer, and it's not that hard. So with that said, that is one of the ways you can set up Hermes. Another way, if you don't want it as autonomous 24/7, you can obviously set this up on a computer. Again, I don't recommend just like your everyday driver computer because like, if it ever broke loose or whatever, or somebody prompt injected Hermes on your like main computer, then it just has access to like your entire computer. And I'm not sure if you want that, but that is one way you could set it up. And I know some YouTubers probably are doing this. A lot of them that create a lot of content I notice that have Hermes downloaded on their like probably main creator computer. I do not. I'm not one of those. So I have a dedicated computer that I run. I have it on Linux and it's on a dedicated mini computer. I don't need to have the best like Mac Studio 5000 with the M8000 chip or anything like that. I mean, those are super nice to have. You can go up as well the NVIDIA was it DJX Spark computer, and then there is of course the big Mac Daddy Mac Studio, which is like $10,000, which can run some pretty decent models. But with that said, if you're just starting out and you want Hermes to run autonomous 24/7 and you're trying to save a buck, these mini computers are perfectly fine. And I've been running several mini computers with several different agents on each one, and it's been super flawless with no problems. I mean, Linux, yeah, it's a little bit of a learning curve. Once you get past it, it's not a big deal. And Ubuntu is, I highly recommend that operating system, and it's free, open source, and you can sign up for an account and you get Ubuntu Pro and all the cool security updates and features on Ubuntu Pro, and it's pretty easy to keep it updated. So, with that said, those are different ways. Of course, if you have a Mac, dedicated Mac computer, you can download it there. Linux right here, installed via terminal. And that's, basically my choice, my path. Although, if you can still run Hermes remotely with Hermes desktop. So you can still download this, and basically what it looks like is kind of this like UI, except it's like not on Mac. This is, I think, is on Mac. But it looks pretty much the same on Windows, and you can basically go into your settings here and you can connect to your remote Hermes on your dedicated computer. So super sweet, super nice. And I already have a video in this course or on my YouTube channel going over how to connect Hermes remotely to if you have a dedicated Hermes on a computer. And if you don't, you can just go through the prompts and you can sign up you can connect your ChatGPT subscription. You can you can just use Hermes Desktop out of the box, just like you would with like Codex, right? Or Claude, for example. It's not that much different. If you can run Claude, you can run Codex, you can definitely run Hermes Desktop. It's like the same, basically. Very similar in terms of like the UI. They're all not that much different, but those are different ways you could set it up. Again, I recommend going the dedicated computer route and then just connecting Hermes desktop to it if you need to work on Hermes with a different computer. However, if you are connecting, you can connect with different like terminals and programs, and I guess I'll get to that in another video. Like for example, terminal, I could come in here and connect through my terminal by SSHing into my remote Hermes as well. If you're into like that terminal interface, super easy to use, and we'll get into some more advanced like terminal types of terminals you can use that are better than just the default terminal. But yeah, there's many different gateways to like Telegram, Discord. You can access Hermes through those apps. Yeah, I use like Discord and Telegram as like my main means of method to communicate with Hermes. I can also go to like the Hermes like web UI and I can chat with it through the web as well. But I use Telescale, so it's all secure. I don't actually have it like, broadcasting to the World Wide Web or anything like that. So that is how I have Hermes set up. But hopefully this video helps you learn what Hermes is and how you can use it and how you can set it up, kind of the basics to get you started. And we'll cover the rest in the rest of the course, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.